Hi, my name's Penny, and as usual, I'm here to talk about some bookish things. Specifically, today I'm going to do the It's Finally Fall book tag. I was tagged by Katie Walter, and I am excited to do the tag, but it's actually not fall down here in the southern hemisphere. That's not how seasons work. So there was a meme that went around a few years ago on New Zealand Twitter that I think more accurately represents New Zealand seasons. I will put a picture here and post the link to the website down below, but you can see that right now we're actually in what's known as Shitsville. The weather is not great. It's rainy and crap and just miserable. I actually prefer winter because in winter it's just cold and dry and kind of nice and snuggly, but Shitsville, which is in the middle of spring, is just all about the rain and being stuck inside. Not my favorite. But regardless, I thought it would still be fun to do this tag, and as I go through, I'll maybe give you a little bit of information about what the Halloween season is like when you're in the southern hemisphere and everything is a little bit more spring. So the first question is, in fall the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. And firstly, we don't tend to call it fall down here in New Zealand. We call it autumn mostly. I mean, we consume enough overseas media that will know what you mean if you say fall, but no one really says fall. I don't know why that is. Anyway, I also would say that the colors are so much more vivid in spring because there are all the flowers coming out. The grass is so happy because it's getting sun and rain, and it's all like bright green. So a vivid setting is still relevant to spring, or even Shitsville. Shitsville is still kind of pretty. So for this, I've chosen I Hate Fairyland, primarily volume 1 because that was my favorite. This is a graphic novel set in fairyland. All of the art is so beautiful and bright colored. It's also a bit violent because this girl named Gert has gotten stuck in fairyland for like 30 years and she's really pissed off about it. Question number 2, nature is beautiful, but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written, but also deals with a heavy topic. So I think this is the main reason why Halloween has never really taken off in the Southern Hemisphere as an event. Like, we have Halloween, but every year I buy chocolate Santas for trick-or-treaters because I think it will be hilarious, but I've never had any trick-or-treaters in the whole 10 or so years that I've owned this house. My parents sometimes get some, but I've never had any. And I had a look in the shops, and at the moment it's just Christmas stuff everywhere and like the tiniest amount of actual Halloween stuff. Halloween is just not a thing down here, and I think it's because at the moment we're surrounded by like new life. There's lambs and ducklings, and I saw some baby poo geckos the other day, which is like New Zealand's wild chickens, I guess is the best way to describe them. So they're just babies everywhere and flowers growing and happy trees, and it doesn't feel like death at all. So Halloween just doesn't make sense down here. But still, for this question, I picked Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I just think this is the perfect book to describe as beautiful because the writing is so lyrical, but also the characters in here are going through some difficult times. The people who live in the city of Weep have had some really horrific things happen to them, and it really does talk about how different people deal with difficult situations. This book is so hard to talk about without spoiling, but it really is beautiful. You know what? You can go back in here. Ugh, don't fall over. Okay, fall over. Number 3, fall is back to school season. Share a non-fiction book that taught you something new. So, honestly, this is the weirdest thing I think about the Northern Hemisphere, is that you start school in September, and it doesn't make sense at all. Like, when you start school in September, is that the school year of 2019 or the school year of 2020? It's so confusing. It doesn't make any sense why years don't start in like August. Like, the Northern Hemisphere came up with the concept of a year, right? Why doesn't it start when it makes sense to start a new year? Which autumn is the perfect time to start a new year. So in New Zealand, school tends to go back at the end of summer, the start of autumn. Schools go back in February, and then university goes back in March. And it makes so much more sense because the school year is within the year. It's never made sense in my brain that you would start school in September. It must be so confusing. I'm so sorry for you. Anyway, if I'm being asked to talk about a nonfiction book, there's no way I wouldn't talk about Nonviolent Communication by Marshall B. Rosenberg. This is a really great book for learning how to empathize with people you don't agree with and to have a constructive conversation with people who have differing ideas than you. I think if everybody read this book, our world would be such a better place. And I listened to this on audiobook, so it's so easy. And he narrates the audiobook himself, and he has such a calming voice, so it's a wonderful audiobook to listen to. If you haven't, you really should listen to this book. I also recently have been listening to The How of Happiness, which I think a lot of the people that I see causing drama on book Twitter could really do with reading this and realizing how all their anger and outrage is making them unhappy. I just think both of these are really good books to teach you how to be happier and how to have more positive interactions with other people. Number 4 is, in order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with the people we love. Name a fictional family, household, or friend group that you'd like to be a part of. As I said, it's kind of still shitty and rainy. It's not quite as cold as it was in winter, but at the moment, I think most of us in Auckland are trying to pretend that summer is on the way, so we're all trying to dress more summery and ignoring the fact that we're actually freezing. I guess it's kind of that 4 seasons in one day type of weather where there probably will be some sun, it probably will be warm, it'll probably also be some rain, and it'll probably also be cold. In terms of a friend group that I would like to be a part of, I would choose the Kate Daniels friend group, especially in this book when they've kind of moved away a little bit from the Shapeshifter clan. I would love to live as Kate Daniels' neighbor and just be her friend. Also a bonus, she would be able to protect me from all the dark magic shit going on, and potentially I would get magical powers of my own, which would be cool. I mean, at the very least, I could become a witch or something. Number 5, the colourful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of fall coloured spines. So I put together a big stack. I used it in the thumbnail, so wow, that was dramatic. So you've already seen this pile. Let me just restabilize my camera. What did I have this like? Like that? Who really knows now? No, that's not right. Like that? Who knows? Doesn't feel right, but whatever. So this is my pile of fall type colors. It's got all those oranges, a bit of black in there. But these are the colors I think of when I think of fall. To be honest, orange is not my favorite color. This is still kind of a pretty book stack. But I did also make a spring book stack, which I think is even more pretty. So these are the kind of colours that we have at the moment here in New Zealand. You know, we got lots of pretty flowers coming out. The grass is all beautiful and green. We're getting some nice blue skies sometimes. Also getting a lot of grey clouds, to be honest, but sometimes some beautiful blue skies. So these are the colours that I kind of associate with spring and the weather we're having right now. I think this is maybe like the positive perspective on spring, not the shitsville perspective. Number 6, fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside. Share a book where someone is telling a story. I just went with the easiest option here, and that is Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, because in this, our main character, Kvorth, is telling his life story and explaining how all the legends about him are maybe not quite true. I'm getting very impatient waiting for the last book in this trilogy. I've sort of started to believe that it's never going to happen, but you never know. We might get lucky. Maybe it'll come out next year. I kind of doubt it. Ugh. Number 7, the nights are getting darker. Share a dark, creepy read. So actually, at the moment, the nights are getting lighter. We just got daylight savings kicking in. So now the sun isn't setting till like 7:30, and I know that's going to get later and later. And it's just my favorite thing when you can actually get more done in the evenings, which is when I start to feel productive because you've got more sunshine. I hate it when it's dark at night. Like, I'm not working at the moment, but the worst thing is when you get up in the morning for work and it's dark, and then you get home from work and it's dark, and it's just like, do I do anything except work? Do I ever see the sun? But at the moment, the sun is coming back to be our friend, and it's my favorite thing. I cannot wait for summer when we get sunshine till 9 o'clock or later. But regardless, we're going to come up with a dark and creepy read. So the first thing that came to mind is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. This is a really dark and creepy story about these women that live up on a hill. They're very ostracized from the rest of the village, and the story is learning why that is. I do really recommend the audiobook for this because I listened to the audiobook and I really loved it. Number 8, The Days Are Getting Colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold and rainy day. To be honest, I prefer books that are like dark and weird, so I don't necessarily read a lot of happy and heartwarming books, but I did think of a couple. Firstly, The Tea Dragon Festival is one which is just like cute and adorable. Another one that I actually have on my shelf is Bee and Puppycat. This is a little bit of an anthology type graphic novel, but there were some in here that are just adorable, and it really did cheer me up when I read this, so I would recommend this for sure. I think if you want something cute and fluffy, graphic novels are the way to go because they're just nice and easy and fun. Number 9, fall returns every year. Name an old favorite you'd like to return to soon. So fall or autumn, as I tend to call it, it is actually my favorite season, but I prefer it in April because April is also my birthday. So I like it because the weather starts cooling down a little bit, but it's still fairly sunny. Usually you've kind of started getting into the swing of whatever's going on in that year. And of course, my birthday. So it's a good time of year. You guys all get it wrong by doing it in September though, because it's way better when it's my birthday. Anyway, I think for this I decided to pick a favorite that I actually am planning to reread, and that is the Galactic Maloo series by Julia May. To be honest, a lot of my favorites from when I was younger, I'm kind of scared to reread because I suspect that I'm not going to like them anywhere near as much now if I reread them. But this series is one that I think if I reread, I'm still going to enjoy. I really hope that that's true. It's all about people developing psychic abilities, but there's also a murder mystery, and I'm just super excited to read these books again. Number 10, fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Name your favorite cozy reading accessories. So firstly, I would debate that. I think any night is good for a cozy reading night. Maybe not in the summer, but then summer is kind of coziness incarnate. Like, you're always cozy regardless of whether you want to be or not. But in any season other than summer, I'm always happy to just grab a blanket and snuggle up for a cozy reading night. I don't think I have any particular cozy reading accessories though, other than just a blanket and somewhere snuggly, like bed. Bed is actually my favorite cozy reading spot. I mean, is there really anything better than bed and a book? I don't think so. Ooh, maybe bath and a book. I do love a good bath. Number 11 is share the autumn appreciation and tag some people. However, most of the Northern Hemisphere people that want to do this tag have already done it, and Southern Hemisphere people probably are a bit confused about fall like I am, because it's really a great time and it's cool seeing all our Northern Hemisphere friends get into the fall spirit, but we can't quite get on board with you because we still got another 6 months to wait until our autumn fun time. But that said, we're heading into summer, and while you might be sick of summer, we're excited for it because we've just been living winter and all of Shitsville. And I think the seasons actually work out really well because just as you get sick of some weather, some next weather comes that's better. The only time that I don't like is now, Shitsville. But at least we know we're going to get some summer fun soon, so it kind of makes the pain worth it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my answers to the questions. I'd love to talk about any of the books that I've mentioned today, or any of my answers if you learned something about the Southern Hemisphere. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.